What's up, everyone? This is Christian Duke from StrengthX.com, brought to you courtesy of Muscle Gels, topical muscle enhancement gels. Check them out today at musclegels.com. Today, I have the honor, the privilege of welcoming my good friend, Eva from Team 5%. You also go by Little Beast Nina and Quads, and you have all sorts of nicknames. So how are you tonight?
I'm very fine. Thank you for asking. I'm good.
Awesome,
I'm very
awesome.
good.
Now, your Instagram is crazy. I mean, you have like just folks from all over the world that you're inspiring. You've done Super League. You have a great physique. Talk to us a little bit about how you got started in the iron game.
I was actually 14 years old and I was chubby and I was a tomboy.
Hmm.
That's how I started. That was the beginning because I love to eat. And actually, I'm European. And
Oh yeah.
normally, people there is very skinny. And I was not. I was huge. Not huge fat, but
Hmm.
I was big. So everybody was mocking me. And I decided to try sports just because I like it to eat. And that is where I started with the iron. I was start going to the gym, not seriously, but I started with the sports, running, bicycle, volleyball, karate, everything that was a sport. And then about 16, 17 years old, I started training on the gym. And that's how I started my relationship with the gym.
Now, how soon was it before the muscle started coming? Was it like that? Was it real fast, or was it a gradual progression for you?
I also have very good genetics, coming from North African and Mediterranean people. So normally, I don't know why um, my legs they were crazy at the time,
Mhm.
and my strength was very strong at the time also. So about my 20s, 18, 19 years old, I already had a future with my physique. Like it was growing muscle, my legs. I think I remember that when I was 18 years old, I was leg pressing already 300 pounds.
Wow.
So
And,
that's
and, I-
crazy.
and I hate to sound sexist, but for a girl, that's a lot of weight.
Yes, I guess I get obsessed by the idea because I was amazed about the limitations of the brain and the body can do so much. And I say, if I can do 100 pounds, now I can do 200, and now I can do 300. And I was impressed with my own strength with my legs, and that's how I started my leg obsession. When I
That's
was
awesome.
18, it was like, let me see what I can do, and that was the thing.
That's cool.
As
So it
simple.
sounds like you were bit by the bug. Now, take us from that point, when you first got started training to the point where you hooked up with Team 5%. How did that happen? Because, the last 2 or 3 years, I would say Team 5% was everywhere. And they had their pick of pretty much everybody wanted to be on that team. So how did you get on it?
Well, I have to say that probably it been nothing to do with 5% because my relationship with the training went over the years to overcome many problems that I had in life.
Mhm.
So, like I said, I become obsessive and I start doing things out of ordinary. And then was way years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, when I started seeing the Mutant company,
Mhm.
and I said, "Wow, these people they beast." So that's how I started with the bug of extreme training, and do not care about what other people were thinking. So from Mutant, I went to 5%, like way back ago, and I was seeing Rich Piana, and I was seeing the people who was sponsored, and I said, this is the kind of people I want to be with.
Mhm.
This is the people that I like. They're not afraid to say what they're thinking. They're not afraid to do what they're doing, and they're not just giving an image of what is not. Like black is black and white is white. It's
Right.
like, and that's what I like, the bluntness.
That's something about
So
Team. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
it's okay. No, go ahead, go ahead.
No, no, I was just gonna say that that was something about Team 5% that I think appealed to a lot of people. Even at at these expos, you had Colleen Muscle and Mike O'Hearn, Andy Hammond, a lot of personalities. But in terms of a company where there was no bullshit in the whole company, and everybody spoke it as it was. That was Team 5%. They were one of a kind.
Well, that's the thing. I grew up, I'm living San 14 by myself, and you had enough disappointing in life with people representing what they're not, with people just selling an image, with people just trying to get from you instead to give. So, kind of through the years, I've been in fitness for a long, long time, and everything started when I started with my Instagram like 4 or 5 years ago. I always, when, if you go back to my profile, I always been very extreme. So I identify myself with them, not because they were extreme, because there's many people who's extreme. It's because with the naturality, the people were expressing themselves and do not care what other people were thinking and do not give an image that were not losing themselves in the process to with something that they were not. So that's what appealed to me. And I said, I need to be a 5%. So since that time to now, or since that time, since I get the sponsored, I send like 300,000 emails every week, every week, every week,
Mm-hmm.
every week, every week. I need to be in the team. I need to be in the team. When I tell you every week for 2 years and nothing happened. So I think one day they reached to me and they told me, look, we're doing selection of people, but it's thousands of people. So we considering you to be part of the team. I said, oh, okay, cool. But they told me that probably they don't know it's going to happen because there are always other people in consideration.
Sure.
And I
And
said, okay, I'm going to go Las Vegas and ask Rich Piana personally. So it's what I did.
that's how a lot of the
That's what,
people over the years got on the team, is just by directly going to him and talking to him, and he had this ability to see talent, and right then and there, and like you said, there were thousands of people applying. I have no doubt about it. They had their pick of basically anyone they wanted. So now you got picked, which was a huge honor,
I
and
know.
you promoted the company wonderfully. But then, unfortunately, the accident with Rich took place. There was a hospital and all of that. And so, talk to us a little bit about that, and also the fact that I don't know if people are. I mean, the people within the 5% community know this all too well. I mean, more than all too well, they know this. I would say the super fans and certain members of the media, like myself, we know this as well. That you were in probably the most inner circle possible. But talk to us about that whole experience, if you could, because I know that a lot of people are just still to this day circulating a lot of inaccuracies.
Well, people has to know that bodybuilding is not a path of taking just vitamins. That's first of all. Nobody is exempt to take supplements, to take steroids, to take pro hormones, to take whatever you need to be taken to achieve your goals. Let's just start here. Regardless what he was doing or not doing, like anybody else on the world that does bodybuilding, they are always involved with something, either way that is little or too big, that don't incriminate him in nothing. He had he had diabetes and also he had problems um, with insulin problems. That's what I know. And what happened was that he just fainted and hit his head, and that's what happened. Is nothing more in that. Um, what bothered me is that people think that all the time that that was re- that was because of steroids. It's many circumstances that somebody can die, and nobody was there to see that. Nobody
Right.
was having a medical record. Nobody can speculate what happened without being a doctor, doing a scan, or doing an autopsy.
I think a lot of
So
people, yeah, they want to blame steroids because that's what they've been programmed by the mainstream media. And that's, I've seen so many videos on YouTube. There's even a gentleman that talked about how exactly he passed, and using a lot of medical terms. And he doesn't know anything, but he has 100 and something thousand views, and it's just clickbait.
people is thirsty for drama. People is thirsty of oxymorons and shit like that. People is thirsty to feed themselves with uh, over impressed shit, and that's what bothered me because if you really care about that person and if people was able to see between lines, nothing makes sense. And I don't have nothing else to say to people who is haters because I don't want to feed that thought.
Yeah,
But I
and
think it.
and you were there though. I mean, Eva, you were there in the hospital. You were
No,
there,
I wasn't.
but you
Just
were in contact. But you were in contact with the
I
people
was,
that were there.
yeah, I was in contact and I was checking every single day how he was doing. I was talk to Jane, and every day I was um, contacting Chanel. Every day
And that's
I
what I
contact
meant. Chanel and Jane were there, and a select few others, but you were in
Martin
contact every
also.
day. Yeah.
Yes, for the relationship that I have with Jane, and I love that woman. Um,
And who is Jane? Just for the, I mean, I know who she is, and most people do, but for the people out there that don't know who Jane, who is that?
I'm not gonna say it. It's not going to happen. If she didn't say it publicly, I'm not gonna say it. Let's
Okay.
say that he's a very, very, very long time close person to Rich Piana.
Okay.
I'm not gonna expose it. But my relationship with Jamie is because she's the director at Leeds. And I fell
Okay.
in love with her persona because she's a very strong woman. She's a very dedicated woman, and she do anything to make things happen. So I can identify myself, and after I met her when I was sponsored, I've been texting every single day to
Mm.
know how she does and what's happening in her life. And that's how my relationship with 5% it get a little bit deeper. Not because Rich Piana directly, it's because the person who is on the side by side every day making the business go was Jane.
Mm.
So that gave me a lot to introduction of what's happening. And the news or the what I knew is because Jane or I asked directly in all the sources that I had is because before to take any conclusion, I went straight to ask her,
Sure.
hey, is this true? Is this happening or is not this happening? Is that what people should do instead to speculate?
What
If
do
you see
you?
some, yeah,
Mhm.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What do you think though about these recordings that have been, surfacing? People say that, Sarah Piana, really Sarah Hymus, whatever her name is, I don't really care, but has been releasing, and I say allegedly, but I mean she was the only person in the car with Rich. She was the only person in the hotel with Rich, and these recordings that Rich clearly didn't even know existed start surfacing. What's your? I know you were really vocal about that, and I know that when the first one came out, you and I spoke on the phone for a while, and I've spoken to Chanel on the phone, and we text back and forth also, and it really. What's your take on all that?
First of all, somebody who is able to record any type of thing of your partner, the person that you intimate, the person that you eat with, the person that you first, your best friend, and you record that, you need to be wicked, man. You need to be fucked up in the head. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry because I'm thinking I'm unable to record somebody just for the purpose to keep it there. And it's I can record one thing, but she has many, many, many recordings. That's a master plan plotting about something to cover her butt about
Exactly,
something.
and the question is, what purpose could that have had except to? I mean, why would she have done it except to hurt him or to threaten him? Or I mean, what would the video in the hotel room? There's one time when he's about to fall into a bed. There's another time he's about to go into a mirror. You'd think she would help him. She's too busy recording.
I was too angry when I saw that because first of all, it's just like the only way that somebody does things like this is because you attention whore, period. Because you're gonna want that everybody say poor Sarah or poor whatever. Oh my God, bad rich. And the other, it's money. If she has an exclusive and she has something that nobody else has, she's gonna attract many people to give her the attention that she wants, the fame that she wants, and the money that she needs. Because I don't know, I guess she's expecting that everybody go behind her, saying poor Sarah, giving her money
Well,
and
I,
making her
I'll tell you,
famous.
I'll tell you what's interesting is that during the time that Rich was in the hospital, there was very, very little communication coming out. And I didn't mean to say you were at the hospital, but you were speaking to the people, Jane and
Can I tell you
Chanel.
something? Those
Hmm.
people were invited. Sarah and family were invited with everything paid to the funeral. They were invited and they had everything paid. So it was so lovely and so beloved and so dearest, and all this bullshit coming from her mouth. For respect and for love, she will be going regardless everything what
And
happened.
did she go?
No.
Well, I mean, the thing about it that's really crazy too is the fact that you had talked about publicity, and during those weeks in the hospital, Chanel made one video just to let people know that Rich was fighting, and that was it. So when Sarah took the last name again, which again, if you go on her Instagram, I don't know if you do because I think she blocked you, but if you go on her Instagram, she's no longer Sarah Piana. She went back to the original name, which she had the whole year that she was, not married to Rich. It's interesting though because I'm sure the press would have much rather spoken to Jane or Chanel, but here was Sarah getting all the press, and that's at least what it looks like. I don't want to say that's why she did it, but that's what it looks like.
It's
And
opportunistic.
yeah, I mean
That's the only
that's what it
word.
looks like.
It's like that's when I saw that it's like my mind was like, what the what a bitch. Because it's the only thing that came out in my mind. It's like, what the fuck? How this happened? Because the funny thing is just like all of a sudden from nowhere you become Sarah Piana again, right? And
Mm.
she was about to marry to that boyfriend, Chris, whatever. And
Interesting guy here, huh?
I know, huh? And you are engaged to somebody, but all of a sudden you still Sarah Piana, and all of a sudden you just come up with the lobby shit. Come on, man.
And
You
and I.
been
Yeah.
no,
And I
go
tell you,
ahead.
when I spoke to Chanel, we spoke a couple of times, and we text more than anything. But the first time I spoke to her for at least an hour or two, it was a pretty long conversation, and I tried to help her as best as I could. And I've met Chanel many times over the years. Rich was always just absolutely amazing with me at the expos. But my God, I feel so bad for Chanel because, aside from these, audio and video files that Sarah may or may not have put out there, but or may or may not record, whatever, uh, they went after Chanel.
But guess what? Everybody, your actions determine what's going to happen. Chanel, for me, being a lady all the time. Why? She had all the storm coming at her, and she keep it very, very laid back. She always been acting like a lady. So everybody pay the consequences of their actions. Meaning, she just had to wait that the things go away, and she did the smartest thing possible. If she's a person that she's a hustler. She's working with 5%. She's working every day. What type of benefit will do to go back and forth with somebody who is not giving you anything? For her image as a person who work in a company, the less baggage you have, the better. You cannot protect yourself from somebody doing to you, but you can protect yourself from you doing to yourself. So what she did is just step back, let things happen,
Mhm.
and do not give importance. And that's a smart thing to do. And
No,
I think
she's
I,
yeah.
I commend that.
Yeah, she's played it totally perfectly, and I think that a lot of the fans, I would say 80 or 90%, if not more, of the 5%ers, speaking strictly the fans here, not the athletes as well, but speaking about the fans, when she speaks, it has a very, very strong sense of legitimacy. It's almost as if Rich was speaking. So I hope that she stays with 5% for, just the long haul because, again, she really represents that vibe, and even Team 5%, from what she told me, and I knew this years ago, was inspired by her. Chanel number 5%. I mean, that's where it came from. So she has a very, very real part in the company. um, Nina, what I want to ask you about is the future of 5% also, because a lot of people are doubting whether or not it's going to continue. But I see you, I see Martin Ford, I see Paulo Almeida, I see Big Frank Budaleski, I see a lot of great athletes, a lot of great products. You guys just came out with the new real food bars, so I see a lot of future. what does the future look like for Team 5%?
Well, we have haters talking about it, that's name. When you have people who love rich, we have name. When we have people who believe in the company, we have name. So like everything is, people make the future of things. And putting effort to the things, everything or everybody who want to be successful will be successful. You just need to want it as bad to breathe. So I don't know if you're gonna last 10. I don't know if you're gonna last 5 or whole life. But what is sure is everybody in that company, everybody in that team is filled with passion, passion and belief. And that's what make it happen. Maybe you're gonna be strugglers like everybody or everything else. Maybe you're gonna be ups and downs. But while it's a ray of expectation, a ray of sun, I believe that everybody who believe in us, everybody who is in team, gonna make everything whatever it takes to make it happen. And that's the spirit. So I don't care
Absolutely.
how long we're gonna last. We're
Yeah,
gonna make it happen.
I think it's going to go for years and years and years to come. I don't see it going anywhere. I do want to ask you a question. I reached out to Chanel. I told her I was going to be doing this interview with you, and I asked her to ask you a question. And there were a few other questions, but in terms of keeping this brief, because we all know how social media is, and we know that we're at the 20-minute mark, and most folks, as good of an interview as this is, aren't going to listen much more because that's just the nature of the beast. So Chanel wanted me to ask you, Eva, if you could only be remembered for one thing in your life, what would you want it to be?
That's a deep question.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like tearing up right now. Probably a caring person because
Good
I
stuff.
care about people.
You
Um,
definitely do. And she didn't
and
know I was going to ask her this question. I just totally asked her this question. So, yeah.
it's just like I'm passionate and I'm driving. That's the only things that keep me moving forward. And I'm sorry, it's just I don't know.
Well, you are a very caring person, and I know that when all these things happen, and we've spoken on the phone many, many times, and we've texted, and I can tell, I think on the exterior, and forgive me for saying this, but I think on the exterior you seem like really tough and hardcore, with the Super League and all that, and you're super strong, but you're very, very sweet and very caring, and you have a great heart, and I think unfortunately with all the things that have happened to Team 5%, in a way, I feel like it's brought you all closer, tighter, and there's no question in my mind that Rich is watching over each and every one of you. There's no question in my mind that that is also a major reason why the team will be so successful, the company will be successful, and this spirit will live on. I have no doubt in my mind that he's with
You
you in
know,
this.
you know what thing, you know what is the main thing is to be in a fan percenter and to be inside the company,
Mm-mm.
love and respect for each other. It's not nothing else. I love every single person in the group. Everybody is amazing, and what they bring to you, it's not the supplements, it's not the vouchers, it's not the shirts. It's we have each other. Many people that we are in that company, we have horrible backgrounds, and it was not for the support and the love that we have there. That's what make it work, and that's what it is. I cannot explain. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna become a 5% because I'm tough. No, not really. You need to have the main thing, a good heart and a good soul. If you don't have that, probably you can stay there. I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
No, absolutely. Well, listen, I really want to thank you, Nina, for taking the time to do this interview. I will do my absolute best to get it out. Well, I'm gonna get it out tomorrow, Sunday, because it's already like midnight here, and I think it's like 11 where you're at. So I'm gonna put this out tomorrow. I really want to thank you very much. For folks out there, definitely follow Nina at little_beast_Nina on Instagram. Nina, is there anything else you'd like to say to the audience?
That you're all fucking awesome. And thank you for make it happen. That's it. As simple as this. You all thank you and thank you for respect me and thank you for love me and follow me. And you're all fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank you
you,
so
John.
much. For Little Beast Nina, Christian Duke, StrengthAddicts.com.